Hey guys, we wanted to pop right in before this episode of Ear Biscuits to let you know that we will not be hosting this episode of Ear Biscuits.
That's right. Actually, Stevie's hosting this one.
Yes, she
is. And she's interviewing Alex.
Right,
because we're calling this a Crew Biscuit.
Yeah, because we're gonna have a handful of Crew Biscuits. Take out your hand, open it up, do it. It helps to visualize.
Visualize.
Open up your hand, open your palm, and receive some little biscuits, some little Crew Biscuits. You can fit a handful of them in your hand.
Starting with this one, because we literally just ran from the set of Buddy System.
Well, I briskly walked.
Well, it's hot out there, so I wanted to get in.
Okay.
And we're gonna run back right after this, and we're gonna keep shooting Buddy
I'll walk
System
back too.
season 2.
I'll walk back too, but we're having a great time.
I'm gonna trot.
It's not affecting anything about us, personal appearance or anything like that.
Nope.
Nothing is being
all.
impacted by this season of Buddy System. We're having a great time. It's going very well, but it is taking all of our time plus a little extra that we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we were excited about the crew stepping in.
It's crazy though. Let's talk about Buddy System for just a second, just to give them a little teaser. It's crazy.
I mean,
every scene we do, I'm still like, they're gonna come in and they're gonna shut this down. Someone with sense.
We shouldn't be allowed to do this.
Is gonna say, stop the madness.
Lots of people are conjecturing about different aspects of the plot given some of the social media that has been released and also the behind the scenes videos that you can watch on the This Is Mythical YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know what? You're not gonna, the plot is so stupid.
No, don't say stupid.
I mean, in a good way, though.
Okay, good stupid?
I mean, people see an image and they're like, well, this must happen. I'm just like, no, what you think's happening is probably not happening. I'm just telling you.
That's great.
You gotta watch it to figure out what's happening.
Yeah. So even though we're so busy doing that, it was very important. The thought never crossed our mind to not put an intro on the top of this to set up Stevie and her conversation with Alex.
Of utmost importance for us. We thought that it was almost crucial, essential that we do an intro for this.
Yeah, we would never not do an intro for this.
Although,
so that they would have to then do an intro without us having to do it.
Although I will say that we will not do other intros for the rest of the Crew Biscuits.
That's probably
It was
very true.
Very important for us to do this one. Just so you'll know that that's what is coming, but for the next few, we will not be doing an intro because you're smart people. Mythical beasts are smart. They don't have to have everything explained to them, right?
And I think that you're gonna gain insight into the lives of the people that we work with and that are our friend workers. They're not just co-workers, they're friend workers.
I do think they're friends, Link.
No, they're not friends, let's be real.
I mean.
They're friends because they work for us.
Yeah, but now they become friends.
But we do like them a lot.
People become friends through different circumstances in life. You don't have to say, well, you're only a friend because I chose you as a friend first.
If they didn't work for us, they wouldn't be our friends.
I mean, you were a classmate of mine before you were a friend.
That was a joke.
It was circumstance that led us together, and it's circumstance that has led us to the Mythical Crew. Nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not gonna call them friend workers. I'm not calling them friendly workers.
They are very friendly when they work.
But I'm gonna call them friends. Friends, I'm also gonna call you friends. Enjoy this Crew Biscuit.
Welcome to Crew Biscuits, I'm Stevie.
And I'm Alex.
And today we are taking over the table of dim lighting amidst Buddy System preparation, pulling back that production curtain of magic to let you in on that little secret, if you didn't already guess that one. I'm going to now give a double intro because we're not sure if at this point more production magic, Rhett and Link are doing an intro to this intro. So
you never know.
This is in the case that they are doing an intro.
Cool.
Wow, that was a great intro.
That went well, better than expected.
And all the nice things that they said about you, about me.
That was great of them.
It was just like super generous and heartfelt and
I cried, yeah. It was beautiful.
More than I could have asked for.
Yeah.
Okay, this is in case I didn't do an intro.
Okay.
You know what I was hoping for this week on Ear Biscuits?
What's that?
An intro from Rhett and Link.
Yeah. which would have been nice.
It would have been great, and I think it would have kicked things off in a much better way had there been an intro, but because there's not an intro.
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about.
Sure.
Is there not an intro?
Right.
All right, I think we covered it.
Covered it. Nailed it.
Both of
Like
those.
always. Nailed it.
So what is Crew Biscuits, you might be asking, because you didn't put together the fact that we're members of the Mythical Crew and we're on Ear Biscuits.
Yep.
Well, let me just explain. I would like to start off by just talking about myself, because that's what you do when you have a guest on, is that you just talk about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I never have a second to talk to any Mythical Crew members. I'm physically running oftentimes. I've noticed I'm the only one who physically runs from meeting to meeting, but I do it. And I wanted to have a second to sit down with crew members and just talk about life and where they're coming from. Currently, where they're coming from.
I just came from the bathroom, so that went pretty well.
So Alex, you're my first guest.
Yeah.
Do you feel honored?
Very. Excited, nervous, sweaty. It's going to be great, though.
Do you want to know why I chose you as my first guest?
I do.
It's a heartfelt moment, just like the intro that Rhett and Link maybe did.
People cry on the show, and it could happen again. Let's see.
Well, I've always said to you, time and time again, your greatest skill is just talking to people. Oh. And this is a podcast.
Yeah. Wow. First of all, thank you. That's very nice.
You've talked some people into some really odd things.
Yeah, horrible. Well, I don't want to say horrible, but some wild things, yeah.
And you're always like, sure, I'll call that snake charmer and ask him if he does lizards.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, until you ask.
So traditional Ear Biscuits, we go way back.
Yeah.
I have a list of things that I know about you, facts that I know. Sure. One of the facts that I think everyone knows is that you're from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
You went to Michigan.
Yeah.
You love Michigan.
Yeah.
You wear a Michigan hat all the time. Mm-hmm. You have parents in Michigan.
Yes.
You have a brother who is from Michigan.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about your family life. Tell me about Alex in Michigan.
Michigan was a great place to grow up. My whole family is still in Michigan. My sister lives in Michigan as well. She's a nurse. I have a brother who's a doctor.
Are we talking about city, like urban Michigan? Are we talking about cornfields? Are there cornfields in Michigan?
Cornfields everywhere. A cornfield in front of my house, a cornfield behind my house.
Are you being serious right now?
Dead serious. Cornfield to the right of my house and a cornfield to the left of my house. Swear on my life.
Surrounded by cornfields.
I'll show you a picture on like Google Maps after this. If you zoom in, it's just cornfields and then my house.
Did you have anything to do with the cornfields?
No. So here's what happened. My dad is a professor of computer science and engineering. So a big computer guy, you know, really into all that kind of tech stuff.
A professor at Michigan?
At Michigan State. So another college in Michigan.
Okay.
A rival school, the one I went to. But he's, you know, very technologically savvy guy. But he was tired of like living on a college campus, I think. Mm-hmm. And so he moved to the countryside just outside of a college town.
This is pre you being born, or this is like you used to live on a college campus?
Yeah, so I grew like, I think until I was like 5 or 6, I grew up on a college campus. And then we moved to the countryside.
Okay.
Like my dad would have like drunk college students pee on our lawn and stuff.
He would have them? Like
well, he wouldn't be like, hey, what are you doing? But that would happen to him. And
I need you to come over tonight because my lawn is dry.
I need an excuse to move, and I would love for you to pee on my lawn. No, yeah, it was like he lived in the middle of a very crazy college town, and then, you know, he moved my family to the countryside.
But he continued to work at State.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and he's still doing that today? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Living in the cornfields.
Living in the cornfield, working on computers.
Okay.
Like he's like really big time computer guy there. Like he does like supercomputing stuff.
Did he, growing up, my dad always had like, one of his hobbies was he had a bunch of PCs and he'd take them all apart and then he'd build like supercomputers that did like very random things. But was he like a hobbyist computer guy or just...
He's like hardcore, like that's his job. So he'd do like
I got that part.
Like it's not a game to build Punch, you know what I mean? He would do like, I mean, we would always grow up with, which I thought it was strange. So back in the day, you know, now everybody has computers, but when I was a kid, not that many people did. And we had 4 or 5 in our house all the time.
PC?
Yeah. All kinds of different stuff. So it was a little bit different, but yeah, they were always everywhere around the house.
Was he like a gamer dude?
He would play like Flight Simulator
Yes.
Your dad do that too?
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
yes. That was a great game though.
It's also no joke. It's like you're in a cockpit.
Yeah. And like a huge joystick.
Yeah, he had the whole thing.
I didn't think I was going to be bringing up huge joysticks, but
Here we are.
Here we are.
And let me tell you, my dad could work it, you know? He could really fly that thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, now I do.
Yeah, sure.
So your
We're learning about
mom,
each other.
I'm guessing your mom was not into flight simulation.
No.
Okay.
I think I like take after my mom a lot more. Like my dad's very analytical, you know, kind of a more serious guy, but my mom is a school counselor. So she also loves like
what
talking.
age? Like what?
Elementary and middle school.
Okay.
So she's always dealing with like children's problems and stuff, you know? That's her thing.
Does she have any good motivational posters in her office?
Yes.
Yeah.
She sang the song about a volcano to us. Like if you're angry and you're about to blow your top.
Can
like
you?
A volcano. I don't know it.
Oh.
I wish I did. I don't know it.
What a tease.
I know. I'm sorry.
What a tease.
Lori Punch definitely has sang the volcano song to us.
And this is when we cut to the video of your mom singing the
she
volcano
would
song.
She would definitely send one in. She loves it.
Okay,
but no,
perfect.
yeah, she had like a lot of problem solving techniques she liked to
employ on you.
Yeah. We would always say we're being counseled. Like, Mom, don't counsel us.
What? So you have a brother and a sister. And what's the age difference between all of you guys?
My brother and I are like almost 2 years apart, like 1 year and 3/4, I think.
He's older.
Yeah, he's older than me. And then my sister's 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah. A middle kid.
Middle child.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said ew.
No, it's good. I like JFK was a middle child.
But you middle children, it's that people forget about them. That's the joke.
Yeah.
So were you ever forgotten?
Yeah, I was left in a theme park. No. I mean,
They didn't leave you at home, and
No.
then they went to New York, and then they were like, Kevin! And then they were like, no, his name's Alex.
no. I mean, I think there's a unique experience to being a middle kid, though, you know? You're never like the center of attention ever. I think you're always competing for it, right?
Who competing with both of your siblings?
Yeah.
I am the oldest child, and my sister, I have one sister, and she's younger than I am.
Yeah.
And I felt like growing up, my mom would like test things out on me, and then like
Yeah.
a couple years later, she'd be like, yes, you can watch PG-13 movies, or you can like, I never got to do any of the fun stuff. Like I was always the guarded one, and then my sister got to be the one that just got to do everything always.
Yeah, I think it was a thing where they gave it a shot with my brother, and then they gave up on me. And then it was like, yeah. By the time my sister came around, they're like, yeah, maybe we should give it a shot again, you know? But, you know, to each their own experiences.
But you're close with your brother. At least I know he just got married.
Yeah.
And how was that?
It was wild.
Where was
great.
that? Michigan?
Yeah, it was back in Michigan. I was like last week. Yeah. It was great. I was my brother's best man.
I was my best man.
I was the best man I could be at that wedding.
I wanted to talk. One of my notes says, hold on, I need to read it directly because it's a funny one. It says, mother - protein starch veggie mom ? Do you know what that note means?
No. What's that about?
Growing up, I felt like my mom, like dinner for me, always included a protein, a starch, and a veggie. And it was like it's a very like 50s thing to do.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be like peas as the vegetable, but like in my mind as a child growing up, if I didn't have those three things, something had gone wrong.
Yeah.
My mom had it had been a bad day for my mom.
Yeah.
So I think this means, did you have protein, starch, and veggies for your, like, what was your
That's
home
funny.
life like?
Yeah, kinda. So my mom would pack our lunches every day, and we would always, it'd be like sandwich, drink, like starchy snack, and then like a sweet snack, like
In
a
a
pudding.
paper bag
In a
type of?
paper bag every day. So yeah, I guess
Wait, you had the same thing for lunch every day, or was it like a varied sandwich situation?
Very, like, it changed all the time, but it was always the same thing. It'd be like,
See, I feel like goldfish are ruined for me.
really? Because you used to get them all the time?
Yeah, I can't.
I feel that. Yeah, I used to get, so it'd be like a sandwich and then like a pudding and then like some chips and then a drink. And I remember it pretty clearly because like you'd see these kids with Lunchables and stuff like that. And I'd be like, yo, that looks dope.
They're
I'm
so
into
good.
that. Yeah,
Have
they
you
look,
had a Lunchable lately?
no, but I bet they're just
The
as
pizza
incredible.
ones? Yeah, they are.
I believe it. Yeah. No, but that makes sense because it's like you said, we'd get the same kind of thing every time.
Yeah.
So I guess my mom is a starch.
I keep wanting to go like this, but then my then the mic is way taller than I am.
Yeah.
And this looks weird and it looks like,
I'm
not going to do it.
I read like this and it hurts
I'm
my...
just going to do this.
I'll do this.
Are we talking like public school?
Yeah,
or
public
just
school.
all your schooling life?
All the way through, yeah. But I don't know. I think it's probably a different experience than a lot of people because I lived in the middle of nowhere. So it was like there was only one school to go to.
Did people ride on horses to get to school?
No, but people would take their tractors to school.
They would?
Yeah.
Like in the parking lot, multiple tractors.
I think that like if it was like in season, they would roll up in their tractor and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, and also if it was deer hunting season, like there's no point going to school because all the kids were gone.
I thought you were gonna bring tractors into it, and I was like, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Because they were always shooting deers on their tractors.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
there were pickup trucks in my parking lot.
Oh yeah, a lot of those.
I remember this kid. Because hanging out in the parking lot in high school was like a thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Before the bell.
Yeah.
And I remember after school one day, this kid was chasing after his friend, like he was running and his friend was driving. I think it was like a station wagon or something, and he stopped the station wagon to be funny, and the kid
smashed into it,
ran through the back windshield.
Yikes.
I don't know why I just
and he passed
brought
away.
that up.
He passed away.
No, he
okay.
could have passed away since that incident. He didn't
He's
during
okay
the
now.
incident.
Okay, good.
I would not have brought up that story, but I don't remember who the kid is, and therefore I haven't spoken to him. So R.I.P. if that is.
Hope you're doing well.
The case.
Did you have like an iconic car in high school? Because I did.
No. Let me hear about your iconic car.
I had a 96 Jeep Cherokee.
Is that an iconic car?
Well, mine was.
What's the
Mine. So my car, I had this 90. There's just this red Jeep, but everything was broken on it basically. So all the doors, they wouldn't lock.
Is this a car you asked for, or is this a car that your parents were like?
Hand-me-down. Me and my brother would share it.
Okay.
But none of the doors would lock. So every day I would come out of school and all of my stuff in my car would be on my roof. And all the doors would be open. My friends thought that was super funny.
That is super funny.
But also, this is great. You know, like the back windshield sprayer? Mm-hmm. Mine was broken and it would shoot outwards. And so my friends would walk by and I would shoot them in the face with my windshield wiper fluid. But yeah, it was pretty, people knew about my car.
That does sound iconic.
Yeah. Good times in that car.
I had a blue RAV4.
Ooh.
But it was not iconic.
But that's all it was.
That's just what it was. No one put stuff on my roof or anything like that.
I love that car. It was great.
I'm not a big car person. I feel like I've had the same car since 2008.
Since I've known you, yeah.
Yeah, and you are a big car person.
Sort of.
I mean, you're a chooser of cars.
Yeah, chooser of cars. If you ask the specs about my car, I could not tell you a thing about it other than it's red and the roof comes off of that thing.
But before that red Volvo convertible.
Oh, yeah,
choice,
yeah.
What did you call your other? You had another
Jamal.
car. Jamal. Okay. Who was a who?
Who? No, you can call him a who. He was. Yeah. He had a lot of personality.
He wasn't a PT Cruiser.
No.
He was a
heavily misunderstood Chevy HHR.
Yeah. Okay.
But that car was great here. We used to use that car for shoots all the time.
Did you go Jeep HHR red convertible?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're moving up in the world. Broken Jeep, Chevy HHR, and then I got my red convertible.
So you took the Jeep to Michigan, to University of Michigan, or you took the HHR to University?
I didn't have a car in Michigan at U of M, but I got one when I got my first job after I graduated. I got the HHR.
Did you always wanted to go to U of M?
No.
Or?
Well, it's weird. I don't know if I've talked about this a lot, but I didn't go right to U of M right away. I was a transfer student. Yeah, I spent a year.
My.
Scandal.
Please,
I'm not
a
pure blood U of M guy. I went to school for a year at this place called Eastern Michigan University, which is weird. It's weird. It's 3 miles from U of M, but it's also a D1 school. But it's not as good of a school as U of M. It's a great school. I don't know how to walk around.
Do you think they're watching you when you're?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So it's fine. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't as good of a school. But it was cool. I mean, yeah, I spent a year at Eastern. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So, like I said, my dad taught at Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could have gone to Michigan State, which is also a big, huge
And it was
school.
next to your house.
Right next to my house. It's literally like 10 minutes away from where I grew up. But that was kind of the thing. So, like, all my friends would go to Michigan State. We would go there when we were in high school still and hang out with our friends. Like, that's all everybody did. So everybody kind of would do the same thing. Like, a lot of my friends from high school are still all best friends. And I don't talk to them that much anymore.
They are watching, actually.
They probably are. Sorry. But yeah, everyone would kind of do the same thing, and I never liked doing the same thing. So I went farther away. I went to Eastern Michigan University. I never even applied to U of M because it's a really good school, hard to get into. And then I transferred out after a year. I got in.
Your self-confidence, I feel like you've grown. Your car choices
have
match your confidence level. But once you were at U of M, then you decided you wanted to be in entertainment?
Yeah. While I was at U of M, I started studying film and kind of fell into some really lucky internships and stuff like that, working on movies. I would work on, every summer I was at U of M, I would work on like another movie, like real movies.
Do you know what my favorite movie story of yours is?
Probably.
Do you want to talk about your screaming?
My screaming. Yeah.
So sorry. I'm jumping around, but you're at U of M.
Yeah.
You decide you want to go into film.
Yeah.
You fall into some good internships. Let's maybe talk about those internships and then we'll talk about the screaming.
Well, it was weird. So right when I got to school, these huge tax breaks were coming to Michigan. Like over 55% tax break to shoot a movie in Michigan.
Okay.
So you could double your budget by just shooting in Detroit, which is like kind of a bombed out city as is. Like
Detroit's listening, right?
But a beautiful bombed out city. It's like World War II never stopped, but it's beautiful there. It's great. I love Detroit. But anyways, yeah, so there's these huge tax breaks. So there was tons of movies being filmed in Michigan, and they didn't have enough people to work on them, which was crazy because like that's people's dreams to work on these huge budget movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that summer,
What year are we talking?
2010 and 2011.
Oof, long time ago.
Long ago. But yeah, so there's all these tons of movies shooting, and so there'd be these job postings all the time, like, hey, we need people to come out, but they would never say what it's for. They're always like very secretive. They didn't want like press people finding out stuff. Mm-hmm. So I applied. My first one I applied to was like intern needed to assist with directors and producers, and I was like, I could do that probably. And then like I got to this random kind of office building in Ann Arbor, and like there was a parking sign that said parking for Wes Craven. I was like, oh snap, this is so crazy.
I just reacted as if that was a surprise to me. Did you see that? I was
like, who's at the parking sign?
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
But I
Didn't see
remember
that
like
one coming.
That's pretty wild, especially a kid from
Yes.
4 cornfields around his house to be like in the presence of, like, I loved movies. That's why I studied movies. And so to be around all that was crazy. I was 20 years old.
So after you saw the parking spot,
I went in and like they sat me down directly in Wes Craven's office and said like, oh, this is going to be an internship working with his assistants and the producers of the movie. Like, is that something you're interested in? I was like, yeah, sure. That'd be great. And then kind of like one thing led to another. It's kind of weird, but I was working on like a $55 million movie in the middle of Ann Arbor. Like that summer. It's crazy.
So cool.
So crazy. It was wild.
But you weren't just working on the movie behind the scenes.
No, I am featured heavily in the movie. It's so funny. I actually got a check for Cocky Student, which was my role in the movie. Sorry to jump ahead. But yeah.
Recently you did?
Yeah, like last week. I got a $13 check in the mail.
That's not too shabby. Like, it's been a while.
Check it out on Netflix. Tell your friends to watch it as well, because I think I get some percentage of money every time people watch it.
I guess we can't really cut to clip because I would tell myself watching this that we couldn't cut to the clip.
If you want, you probably could find it somewhere. But that's another weird story. So I was like, strangely, I had become sort of friends with Wes. Like, he was an 80-year-old man and he loved playing Angry Birds and Flappy Bird, or not Flappy Bird. It was Doodle Jump.
Wait.
Doodle
What's
Jump.
the difference between Angry Bird and what's Flappy Bird?
Flappy Bird is when you press it and then it tries to go in between like bars.
And it's not an Angry Bird?
No, he's a happy bird, I would say. He loves to fly.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting this, which
ad.
means
This is the ad symbol.
And I'm reminded via Cody going like this how much I desire to have an ad right now. Alex, are you desiring an ad?
I would love to see an advertisement.
And then
Ooh,
we are the
suspenseful.
advertisement for the video
Yeah.
portion of this. And you know what I would like to talk about?
Yeah, what?
RhettandLink.com/store.
I've been there. It's good. I love it.
We have new good Mythical summer merch. We have sunglasses. We have T-shirts. We have beach towels. We have so many things. Alex, you seem to be pointing at your left nipple.
No. Yes. It's a 10 feet tall shirt, which is also available there.
Yeah. These are available there.
They taste like butter, too.
And
Maybe.
and other logo pocket tees, everything your mythical heart could desire, you can find at rhettandlink.com/store. That's RHETTAND. How do you spell link?
It's LINK.
Did he change it recently though?
No, he's got great hair. But no, I think it's the same.
Okay, LINK. How do you spell
Stores
store?
like, oh God. Can we give up?
Well, I guess we'll just cut earlier.
Yeah, we'll cut.
We'll just cut.
We'll cut.
Oh my gosh, that
Welcome
ad
back.
was so good.
Wow, that was really good.
I can't believe how great they were at spelling those two.
Yeah, they were good actors too.
Okay, what were we just talking about?
Speaking of acting.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Speaking of acting, yes, your role in Scream 4.
Yes.
There is another story that you have told me that I want to bring up because I think that if you brought it up, it would sound like you're name dropping. But if I bring it up, it is exciting. So, Miley Cyrus, tell me about her.
Well, okay, so after I did Scream and I had a role in Scream 4, we'll breeze over that. I was in Scream 4. A kid was too young to do it, and so they asked me to do it.
Wait, that's not Cocky Student? That's a different one?
That is Cocky Student. That's like the story of Cocky Student.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's more. We'll go back to Cocky Student. Okay, so yes, so
I was gonna do like
you
a
can find the
play-by-play.
clip. We talked
Yeah.
about that, and now we're going play by play on Cocky Student.
Yeah.
To give you because we're not done with Cocky
Well,
Student.
yeah. You in detention, officer?
Yeah. Want to join me?
Nah. So I was 20 at the time, and I guess the kid that they had hired to play that had lied about his age, and he was underage, and it was like a SAG project, so they were like, "Oh, you can't do it." Mm-hmm. And so that day they needed somebody to replace it, and they were like, "Alex, you're not doing anything. You need to do this." And I was like, "Oh God, are you serious?" And so I went into like a dark hallway with Wes, and he was like, "Walk up and say this line to me." And I did it, and he was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And I was like, "Oh snap!" And so the next thing you know, I was like in hair and makeup, and I had like my own trailer for the day. Very, very wild.
I can't remember what you looked like, but how
Crazy.
much hair and makeup are we talking?
I looked insane. So I was gross. I was working on a set. I remember like going back to the hair people, and she was like, "When was the last time you showered?" And I was like, "So long. I'm on this set every day. You know that."
Wow.
Yeah, she was rude. And I had like really curly hair. I don't know. It's a wild look.
Oh my gosh, you did have curly
Yeah,
hair.
really curly
But you
hair.
naturally had curly hair. They didn't curl your hair.
No, I mean, I think I was a lot
Did
to
they
do.
shower you? Is that what you're saying? They like bathe, they makeup sponge bath your body because you were so gross.
Yeah, it was gross. Yeah, I just looked crazy, and then they did what they could, I think. And then I had to go do that line, and it was weird.
I feel like students look
Yeah,
unshowered.
yeah, exactly.
Curly hair.
Yeah,
All students have curly hair.
yeah, but that was the story, though. I had curly hair. I wasn't hired to be an actor. I was just there. Right time, right place. I had played a lot of Doodle Jump with Wes, and we were friends.
Oh, sorry. We didn't even talk about Doodle Jump.
Yeah.
Flappy Bird, you're in between bars. They're happy and they're not angry.
Yep.
Doodle
Doodle is just a
Do
guy
I
who
sound old and out of touch right now?
Doodle jumps.
No. Yeah, this is like early iPhone games, and I had just gotten an iPhone 2. Like my parents had got me an iPhone for that movie. I was like, oh, I need one. Everyone will think I'm a loser if I'm on this movie and I don't have an iPhone. And so I had just gotten like, I think it was like Doodle Jump on the iPhone. Wes and I had bonded over that, and then he asked me to do that part, and I was in it.
You owe it all to Doodle Jumps.
Yes. It was cool.
I gave a really good teaser earlier.
Yeah.
When I just said Miley Cyrus, and that's all I said.
She's great.
How did she come into play? This is another film that you worked on because there were not a lot of people in Michigan to work on films. Is this how this happened?
So I killed it. You know, I'm the best guy around after I work with Wes Craven. I'm like top notch now. There's nobody here who'd really worked on movies. And then the next summer came around and they were like looking for people again. And I was like, I happen to be close Doodle Jump friends with Wes Craven. So perhaps I could work on this film as well. So I worked for this.
That's like the perfect cover letter.
Yeah, it was wild. So I worked for this guy named Chip Diggins on an independent movie called Love and Honor. And Chip Diggins was like a former executive at Paramount, and he like had left there, and he's doing independent films now. And
producing or directing?
Producing. Like,
okay.
He was like, I think he was a higher up at Disney as well. But he was like hardcore, like, I love it. He's like one of the best dudes ever. Like he kind of was a huge mentor to me and still is. Like great dude. But he hired me for that movie, and on that
intern PA
as his assistant. I was an assistant to the executive producer.
And you're still in school. This is like summer between you being in school.
Yeah. I'm 21, so this is the next summer after Scream 4.
Okay.
And so Liam Hemsworth was the lead in that movie. Mm-hmm. This is like right after he had done I almost said Twilight, which is wrong. It's the other one.
I wouldn't have called you out on that one.
It's the other one. It's with Hunger Games. Hunger Games. He's the lead. He's one of the male lead in Hunger Games. Yeah, which is also good. We're young.
Which the movie is good. Hunger Games is great.
Yeah, it's good.
Or it's good that we know of Hunger Games.
Both. We're smart, young, and we know about stuff.
I like Hunger Games.
Yeah, he's PETA or Gale. One of those two.
No, he's not PETA. And
he's Gale.
And I like Hunger Games to the point where I know that he's, well, maybe now I'm questioning myself, but I know Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That was a oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I wanted us to have a platform to do shout outs because I feel like we never do if we're on GMM or, 10 feet tall. Like I'm always on 10 feet tall and I'm always thinking, when am I going to get a chance to shout out? And then I want to give a shout out to Jennifer Lawrence.
Ooh.
Thank you for being in Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And you're really cool.
You seem cool.
I feel like I've wasted my shout out moment.
Can I do one?
Yeah.
I want to shout out to Liam Hemsworth, also in Hunger Games, who is a great guy. I love that guy.
Really?
Very, very sweet dude. Was very nice to me as a young man. Appreciate you, love you, and your assistant Angus. Both great people. Love you, miss you. Hang out soon.
That was very personal.
Yeah.
Whereas mine was just more of an observational.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I shouldn't have done that.
That's
that way.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So Liam Hemsworth is in it, and he's a nice guy, and his assistant Angus.
Yeah. Oh, his assistant Angus is the best. But he's great too. Everyone's so fun. But yeah, so I worked on that movie and somehow also became like friends with Liam and some of the people in the cast. I was very close with a lot of the cast just because I worked pretty close with them.
Who else was in the cast?
Oh gosh. Chris Lowell, Wyatt Russell, who's doing very well. He was just in Everybody Wants Some. He's Kurt Russell's son and Goldie Hawn's son. Who else is in that movie? Amy Teagarden. She was in Friday Night Lights. She's very nice too.
Wait, which one in Friday Night Lights?
She was the coach's son in Friday Night Lights.
She was the coach's son?
Oh, daughter. Oh no, Amy. No, she's not going to like that. Yeah. She's the coach's daughter, yeah.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights is the show that I just like to have on in the background of everything. Like I've watched it like 3 times all the way through. It's like one of the best shows in the whole world. Highly recommend. Alex plays a cocky student in a couple of the episodes.
Please watch. I might get paid for that at some point too.
Shout out to Friday Night Lights.
Yes. Oh, this is good. I like shouting out. It's going to be fun.
That's good.
Okay, wow, we have teased Miley Cyrus so much.
I know.
So much. Okay, so I'm friends with Liam.
I can't wait to hear the story.
Miley has I believe they are engaged at this point, or like very close to becoming engaged.
Okay.
But, so I work for this producer, and like basically half my job for that summer is she just showed up to hang out. She had shot this movie with Demi Moore in Detroit the summer prior. So while I was working on Scream, she had done this movie with Demi Moore in Detroit. So she liked Michigan and liked hanging out. So she would just come and hang out on set all day.
And also her fiance was in the movie.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make all those connections. She didn't just like really like
if
Detroit.
If she did though, like would anyone tell her to leave? Probably not. They'd be like, okay. I mean, I have so many Miley Cyrus stories from that summer, but I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I'm totally sure.
Please, I would like to hear a little bit of
so this
each.
I remember this is like right before she was a bad girl. She was still nice.
Before
Miley.
she was a bad girl?
Yeah, she had her long hair.
Publicly.
Yeah, so she had her long hair, but I remember she had gotten caught smoking a cigarette, and the paparazzi like went crazy and put that out there.
We're still in like Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly. She got an equal sign tattooed on her middle finger.
Oof.
And so she had, but she had wandered off, and no one knew where she was when she was getting a tattoo, and it was like my job to go find her. Like my boss had came up to me and he's like, "We gotta find Miley. Like, where's Miley at?" And I was like, "Didn't know that. I didn't know that was part of this whole thing, but I will go find her." And so I remember running around this town called Ypsilanti very late at night because we were on night shoots, and like running all over town trying to figure out.
Excuse me, have you
seen Miley Cyrus? And then like I finally found her at a tattoo shop, and she said something like, "Hey y'all, what y'all doing?" Like she was very like, "Oh hey, what's up? How's it going?" Yeah, but she was cool. She was always very nice to me.
Did you like tag her when you found her?
I was like, "Oh no, we need to go. You can't be here. You can't just be wandering around the streets of this city."
She wasn't getting the tattoo on her middle finger though. She was getting.
Yeah, she was.
She was getting that tattoo.
Yeah.
At that moment.
I remember that very distinctly because it exploded on social media, and I remember thinking to myself, like, that's so wild that
you were there for the moment when it happened.
But also, like, she's just wandering around. She doesn't care. She hadn't thought this through at all. Like, she just kind of went to this place and got this tattoo, which is awesome. Like, cool for her. But, like, she just made this split-second decision, and then it's everywhere. Like, it's all over the news, which I remember thinking, like, oh, that's insane.
I might be spilling things.
No, you're good. You didn't go.
Well, speaking of insane things, Alex, I also have a list of things that you've done.
God.
Very recently. Oh my gosh, I'm going to tease that list though because I want to go back to when I first hired you.
Yeah.
Which at this point is like 3 years ago. I pulled up the email.
Oh no.
Exchange.
Oh no. That's not good.
From May 21st, 2014.
That's so funny.
I had posted for a production assistant on staffmeup.com, shout out, and you had answered. I emailed you back. I asked if you wanted to talk. You said, quote, absolutely, exclamation point.
Yeah.
We talked. I hired you. Previous to that, we had another PA, also named Alex.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How did you feel at the time?
I was fine with it. I remember Link came up to me and he was like trying to set up my email. This is back when we did everything. There was like 5 of us?
Yeah.
And
this is old studio that was like the weird
studio.
like apartment half medical situation.
It was the best.
Yeah.
It was good times. But so Link came up to me and he was like, "Well, I need to set up an email for you, but we already have an Alex one, so I guess you can just take that one." And I was like, "Oh no!" Like
that's like best case scenario for Link is
he
hiring
doesn't have to do
someone
anything.
in the same position with the same name, so he doesn't have to remember the next person's name. Because that's like a runner joke with Link is that you'll be like, "My name's Alex," and he'll be like, "Greg," and you're like, "No, Alex."
Which is so funny the first week, but year 3, it's tough. Like it's so rough when he comes up and says that stuff to me now. Just kidding. He doesn't do that very much.
Okay, so 3 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
At some point, we brought Mike on. You moved up to production coordinator. Mike came on as a PA. When Mike first came on, we were questioning him.
I'm so excited to talk about this. It's great.
Because Mike was very Mike-ish at the time.
Yeah, he hasn't changed yet.
So a lot of his PA duties, he just seemed he seemed very constantly upset about everything, but also
he's not. It's so strange.
So it took a while I think for us both to understand that he wasn't upset about things.
So I knew like he's just kind of a very dry kind of a dude.
Yeah.
Do you know how Mike came to be here though? You might want to say this for your podcast with him.
Let's touch on it because I don't remember. I have the worst memory.
So
I didn't pull up that email exchange.
Yeah. I have a great email exchange with Mike. But so I hired Mike because the old Alex who used to work here had put up a posting for interns, and people on our old Facebook.
Oh.
And so that email address was up, and it was like, oh, if you want to apply for this internship, you can't just email me at Alex blank blank blank. And so his old email was mine, just like I said, like Link had done. And so people who were pretty savvy could find that post and then email me. And so Mike had...
Wait, what do you mean people who are pretty savvy?
Because you have to go way back through all those
old...
Oh,
Mike went like a year back onto Rhett and Link's
more
Facebook
than that.
page?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And somehow found that email and from the old Alex and then had emailed me asking about internships. But in his email, he included a script starring both Rhett and Link, which he will hate me for finding.
Oh my God. I totally remember that.
Yeah, which I bet I could find.
I remember you telling me about that.
And it was insane. It was like the most insane script. But you know what? Mike can talk about that when he comes on.
Yeah.
But it is like...
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
It's genuinely like the most insane.
Didn't we read it out loud in the office?
Yes, heck yeah, we all read it. And I was like...
Just like all that fanfic that we read?
Yeah, we read it. But it was nuts. And I was like, this is so insane. No, and everyone was like, no, don't call that dude. Like, that's insane. And I was like, no,
but
we
have to. But at the time,
to.
we probably didn't have a lot of interns
No, and
applying.
we were looking.
And we needed interns. It wasn't just like... We got a million emails being like, can we work there?
And I remember laughing so hard, and then I brought Mike in a week later, and then like he was.
But was that a joke?
What? Bringing him in?
The script.
Oh no.
It wasn't a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke. I mean, it was very clearly way over the top and very Mike. Like I know Mike now, so I understand what he was doing. But back then, I was like, this is hilarious. This is absolutely insane. Like, I have to just see what's going on with this person, which we did. And
we like kept checking in on him, being like, wait, I think he might be miserable.
Yes.
I think he might hate everything that we're asking him to do.
Yeah, he had a horrible time when he first moved here. I know there's like so many things going wrong, but he's a very...
Oh yeah, his car got broken into on one of our first shoots.
And it broke down. The transmission broke. I mean, he didn't have a place to live.
And he didn't have a mattress for a while.
No, he was
We'll
sleeping.
save this for the Mike Crew Biscuit. But my point bringing up Mike is that like you guys are real life best friends at this point. And so there was a transition between getting that email with that script that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then thinking that Mike literally hated everything.
Yeah.
And then to where we are today. I mean, so you guys started working, you really started bonding on Good Mythical Crew.
Yeah. At a point, like Mike, it's so strange to think about now because like we do everything and we're like, I don't know. We're partners.
Your roommates.
We're partners in like every aspect of our life.
It's okay. You can say partners.
We're friendship partners and business partners and all kinds of partners in every aspect of our life.
I mean, you didn't have to say all kinds of partners because that kind of, opened the doors a little bit more, but that's fine.
No, but at one point, Mike worked for me, like directly for me. I would tell Mike what to do every day, like, and it's weird to think about. Like, it's just so far. At one point, his role kind of changed and it was like we were just splitting everything 50-50 with what we're doing. And now that's what we do anyways. So
yeah, it
kind of developed slowly. But yeah, we started doing the crew stuff, and like that's where I guess we discovered our friendship.
I have a list of things that I'd like to bring up that you did on Good Mythical Crew, because I feel like I was recently looking at the playlist about like an hour ago, and it's funny to me the things that you've done.
Yeah.
Including you got your blood sucked by a leech.
My worst fear, the only fear I have.
Really?
That's all I'm scared of was leeches.
But now that you've done it, it's
I don't really care.
Okay.
I don't really care.
Look at that.
It hurt. But that's like the only thing.
Check that one off this list.
People would ask me like when we were trying to do the show, they're like, "What are you scared of?" And I was like, "Leeches. I don't mess with leeches, man." And it's true. I still don't like them, but that was like my biggest fear.
The weirdest thing about that to me was that it was in that woman's house.
Yeah, that was insane.
Like that's the scariest.
She was like, "You're not gonna like, you're not." Yeah, she was scary. I don't know.
She was great though.
Yeah, she was great.
She was great.
Another great
we
person.
Appreciate her.
And we love
Shout
her.
out to her.
Shout out to Leech Lady.
You built a cheese baby fountain.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think in that episode you reveal it to me.
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh, we can't use that."
No, I was genuinely
you were impressed.
I was genuinely impressed by your ability to build that baby peeing cheese. Or was the baby puking cheese?
Yeah.
In my memories,
Yeah, it all blurs
it was
together.
peeing cheese. You spent a full day gathering horse poop.
Yeah. Yep. I think we'll leave that one. I think we were like, see, back in the day, we used to like do stuff with real reckless abandon. So we were like, let's go to a ranch, we'll run on there and we'll steal some horse poop and then run off. And that's what we did.
I like that you said back in the day as
It
if
was like a year-
10
I know.
feet tall is not exactly that.
Yeah, it's the exact
Like
same
we
thing.
looked
We
at the
do
horse
same
poop
thing.
episode and we were like, that.
Yeah.
More of that.
That's pretty much what it is.
This one, I feel like there was a boundary that might have been crossed in this particular.
I know what it is.
Really? That's a long. I mean, it could be anything, but you drank LA River water and you went into the river.
Yeah, I swam in it nude.
Yeah.
And I exposed myself.
Yeah, there was some blurring that had to be done.
Yeah. Shout out to those editors.
Shout out to those editors.
Shout out to whoever did that.
It was Ben.
No, I think I remember Matthew
he passed it off.
Matthew was not into he was like whoever had to blur it was upset with me. Understandably, I get it.
That was not safe.
Nope.
You wore a diaper to a Power Rangers convention.
Yeah, that was good. People need to watch that more. It was good.
That particular episode.
Yeah. Oh god.
You've just been like monitoring all the episodes.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
It is
People
a really
need to
good
see that. It's good.
You took a miniature horse's temperature.
Rectally
is the part I was implying.
Mm-hmm.
But we've since worked with those miniature horses, so I feel like that's not as big of a deal.
No, we're cool now.
I should have started with that one because that one doesn't seem as bad anymore.
No, yeah, they're great. Girl, the mini horse people. I'm sorry to keep doing this
Did you say
job.
girl?
Girl, those are great. I think I said.
Girl, the mini horse people.
I said those guys are great.
Yeah, the
But they
woman.
are. Yeah.
Or the horses.
All of them. They're
What's the woman's name?
Jean.
Jean.
She's awesome. Shout out to her. Those people are for real amazing.
She is really amazing.
They're great.
And then for some reason, last on my list, because there's a whole long list, and if you guys have not watched all of the old Good Mythical Crew episodes, you have got to shout out to those episodes. And
Yeah.
we'll touch more on 10 Feet Tall, but we were in my office looking for something to do that was related to a GMM episode. The episode was about hot dogs. And I Googled and happened upon people swallowing whole hot dogs, and you attempted that.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's sometimes when I'm reviewing your episodes where I literally I cry from laughing so hard. And it's always when you're struggling.
I know. That's why the struggle is so real. Like, it's so hard.
Did you get any?
I
down?
got one of the baby ones down. But I also projectiled one out with like the wildest noise ever. It was like that was a scary episode. There's a lot of iterations of that episode, but that's where we got to, and it was great.
Yeah. Speaking of scary, I mean, let's talk a little bit about 10 Feet Tall.
Yeah.
At the time that this comes out, we will be really shooting Buddy System even harder.
Yep.
Which I was supposed to. I don't even know how much I touched on. I said that we're shooting Buddy System, but gosh, boy, is there a lot going on.
Yeah, so you are just a blur. I know we talked about you running, but it's true.
It's true. Ran in here, gonna run out of here.
Yep, you are.
But one of my favorite 10 Feet Tall episodes that came out fairly recently, a little bit further back by the time this comes out, is the teddy bear episode.
Yeah.
And based on that episode, we've come up with other fighting based episodes. So those episodes are going to be out around this time. You got shot in the nethers.
The nethers.
And you also hurt your hand being shot at by another ball.
Yeah. I noticed this stuff never happens to Mike, though. Isn't that weird? Isn't that so strange how that happens? It's bizarre. But literally every time, horrible, bad stuff happens to me. But it's good. It's,
you recover.
You know, it's fun. Yeah.
You always recover.
And we're always safe. Like, people talk about how we do stuff around cars. Yeah, maybe that's not safe. That's not good. We shouldn't do that stuff. But we do.
We're getting lucky. We're getting really lucky every time you shoot something. Yeah.
Knock on.
What's the point of me saying what my favorite episode has been as of late was to ask you what your favorite episode has been and or what you're looking forward to, and just talk a little bit more about 10 Feet Tall and all that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Mike and I's friendship, and that show all has like blossomed out of our friendship, and like we're very strange. I think people probably have gotten onto that, and so we've been given the go ahead to just basically do whatever. Would you agree with that? It's just like, within reason,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I still just check out, like,
oh,
can
yeah,
you do
yeah.
this video? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Let's look at the story beats. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me approve this video before it goes out.
Like,
what's the title thumbnail? But yeah, I mean, pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah. Like, within some reason, but that's like an amazing opportunity. Like, that's crazy. Like, people don't get to do that, but I don't know. My favorite episode is probably... I think I like the teddy bear one too.
You just were having so much fun. That's why I liked it so much. It was so fun.
And our process for that episode was like, oh, we'll get them and we'll figure it out. And it's like, when you have that much leeway to kind of figure it out on your own, and like you're working through it with your friend, and it's awesome. It was so fun. Like, we did not have beat it out, I'll throw a trash can at Mike. We didn't have the fact that Mike was going to throw a dummy at me. Like,
yeah.
It's insane, the stuff that we did, and it was so fun. And that's kind of, we're trying to find our way still, I think, and that's kind of the thing that we're moving forward with. It's like we have fun together, and when we get to, be wild and be ourselves, that's the best episodes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when we were first talking about transitioning away from Good Mythical Crew and starting this whole new show, we had a couple meetings where we were like, okay, let's come up with some episode ideas, and they have to have this criteria. And Rhett and Link and I were sitting down, and we're like, what do we want to see Mike and Alex do? And there was kind of it was very hard for us to think of things for you guys. So then when we sat down with you guys and we were like, well, what do you guys think is funny and what do you want to do?
Got hot dog stands.
Yeah, and then the next time you came back and talked to us, you had like a list of 30 ideas that we would have never thought of, and we were like, yes, that's very Mike and Alex.
Well, you guys know us very, very well at this point, especially you, Stevie. I'm old school at this place.
You
at this
are,
point,
yes.
Which is crazy.
You are, even though your email's even older than you.
It's true. I sent it in vitro. I don't know. In the womb?
No, your email address.
Oh,
Alex,
yeah,
because
that's
of
right.
the other Alex. We covered that earlier.
I thought you meant I wasn't born yet, which doesn't make any sense.
No, that's not what I meant. Well, Alex, thank you so much for being my first guest on Crew Biscuits. At the end of Ear Biscuits episodes, guests get to sign the table.
Yeah.
I want to extend the same courtesy to you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to sign underneath the table because that's where I feel like the Mythical Crew should be signing.
Yeah.
You understand.
No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Harley Mortensen takes up a lot of room, so it's like,
And he might be coming back, and we need another space for him to take up equally the same amount of room.
Shout out to you,
and,
Harley.
Final shout out?
Maybe final?
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed I wasted it on Harley, but great guy still, though. Love you.
All right, I'd like to watch you do this.
This is so much harder than you think it is. Upside down.
You notice another signature under there, right?
Yeah, it's the old Alex. But he wasn't asked to sign, right?
I don't know the story of that.
Oh, I do.
Because I remember we were moving this table in and saw that the old Alex had signed underneath.
Yeah. I don't know.
What is it?
I mean, Ben had told me that he had asked him about it, and he was just like, yeah, like that was my final goodbye. So we probably can't keep that in the episode.
What? No, we're keeping that in the episode. And old Alex, this is a final shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for
Thanks
being
for having
in our own studio that
Stevie,
we're always
it's been a beautiful 3 years. I can't wait for more. And you are a fearless leader, and we love you very much.
Oh my gosh, thank you.